Remarkably, it's been 3 decades since the iconic primetime soap Dallas graced our television screens. This epic 14-season saga chronicling the trials and tribulations of the Ewing family concluded on May 3, 1991. The final episode featured the notorious J.R. Ewing, Larry Hagman, confronting the many ways he had harmed those around him, a storyline that cleverly twists the main concept of It's a Wonderful Life, and ends with a scene implying J.R. takes his own life. Sadly, unlike the transient nature of TV dramas, death in reality is much more permanent. With Dallas now 30 years in the past, it's unsurprising that some of the actors have since passed away. Barbara Belle Geddes. Barbara Belle Geddes portrayed Miss Ellie Ewing in 1978 at the age of 56. Belle Geddes gained fame with her performance in the 1946 Broadway production of Deep Are the Roots. This role earned her the Clarence Derwent Award, the Theatre World Award, and the Donaldson Award, the precursor to the Tony Awards, which was presented to her by Lorette Taylor for outstanding achievement in the theater. She played Nancy, the wife of Richard Widmark, in Kazan's 1950 film noir Panic in the Streets. In 1958, Alfred Hitchcock cast her alongside James Stewart in Vertigo as the enduringly patient bohemian, Midge. Belle Geddes also appeared with Danny Kaye and Louis Armstrong in the musical film The Five Pennies. She retired from acting in 1990 and settled in her homes in Northeast Harbor, Maine and Putnam Valley, New York, where she continued to pursue fine art. Additionally, she authored 2 children's books, I Like to Be Me and So Do I, and created a popular line of greeting cards. Belle Geddes passed away from lung cancer on August 8, 2005, at her estate in Northeast Harbor, Maine, at the age of 82. Ken Kercheval. Ken Kercheval portrayed Cliff Barnes in 1978 at the age of 43. Kercheval made his Broadway debut in the 1962 play Something About a Soldier. He appeared off-Broadway in the 1972 Kurt Weill Revue Berlin to Broadway with Kurt Weill, and his performance can be heard on the cast recording. His other theater credits include The Apple Tree, Cabaret, where he replaced Bert Convy as Cliff, and Here's Where I Belong. In 2006, Kercheval performed as the General in the musical White Christmas at Southampton's Mayflower Theatre and Plymouth's Theatre Royal. In 2007, he reprised his role at the Edinburgh Playhouse and the Wales Millennium Centre in Cardiff. In 1985, Kercheval became a partner in the Old Capitol Popcorn Company, but the partnership deteriorated by 1988. Financial disputes and other issues culminated in a 1989 armed rampage and suicide on the Dallas set by one of the partners. A lifelong smoker, Kercheval survived lung cancer after having part of his lung removed in 1994. Kercheval was married and divorced 3 times and had 5 children. By 2012, he had 6 grandchildren. In his later years, he spent most of his time near his family in Clinton, Indiana, where he enjoyed attending local fairs and festivals. Kercheval passed away from pneumonia on April 21, 2019, at the age of 83. George Kennedy. George Kennedy portrayed Carter McKay in 1988 at the age of 63. His first significant screen role was as a military policeman on the TV sitcom The Phil Silvers Show, where he also worked as a technical advisor to ensure the accuracy of the show's military base setting. Kennedy later described The Silvers Show as a great training ground. His film career began in 1961 with The Little Shepherd of Kingdom Come. He appeared in numerous Hollywood films, including as a sadistic jail guard in the Kirk Douglas modern western Lonely Are the Brave, 1962, a ruthless criminal in the Cary Grant suspense film Charade, 1963, and in the Joan Crawford thriller Straitjacket, 1964. In 2014, he played Ed, the dying grandfather of Mark Wahlberg's character Jim Bennett, in The Gambler. His role lasts for less than 2 minutes during the film's opening scene, wherein Ed, moments before his death, bequeaths the responsibilities of patriarch to a heartbroken Jim. Kennedy resided in Eagle, Idaho, at the time of his death. He passed away on the morning of February 28, 2016, from a heart ailment at an assisted living facility in Middleton, Idaho, 10 days after his 91st birthday. He had a history of heart disease. Jim Davis. Jim Davis portrayed Jock Ewing in 1978 at the age of 69. Davis appeared 13 times on Death Valley Days. In 1954 to 1955, Davis starred in and narrated Stories of the Century, portraying Matt Clark, a detective for the Southwest Railroad. In 1957, he played an outlaw with scruples in the 16th episode of Tales of Wells Fargo, titled Two Cartridges, alongside Dale Robertson. From 1958 to 1960, Davis starred as Wes Cameron opposite Lang Jeffries, who played Skip Johnson in the syndicated adventure series Rescue 8. Around this time, he guest-starred on the syndicated crime drama U.S. Marshal, starring John Bromfield. In 1949, after 2 brief failed marriages, Davis met Blanche Hammerer at the Club Mocambo on the Sunset Strip. They later married and remained together for over 30 years until Davis's death in 1981. Their only child, daughter Tara Diane Davis, was tragically killed in an automobile accident at the age of 17. Davis later became close to his Dallas co-star Victoria Principal, who bore a physical resemblance to his late daughter. Davis passed away at his home in Northridge, California on April 26, 1981, at the age of 71. George Petrie. George Petrie played Harv Smithfield in 1979 at the age of 67. Petrie began his career in radio drama, including playing the title role in Charlie Wilde, Private Detective, and in The Adventures of the Falcon. He portrayed Bill Grant in Call the Police and appeared on programs such as the syndicated horror show Murder at Midnight in 1947. He also had the recurring role of D.A. Markham in the syndicated Philo Vance radio series from 1948 to 1950. Petrie's film credits include At Sword's Point, 1952, Baby Boom, 1987, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 1987. On The Honeymooners, he played recurring character roles throughout the series. Petrie passed away from lymphoma on his 85th birthday in Los Angeles. He and his wife, the former Patricia Pope, had 2 children, James Brown. James Brown portrayed Detective Harry McSween in 1979 at the age of 59. Brown was born in Desdemona, Texas. He attended Baylor University, where he represented the university in tennis. Brown began his acting career in 1941 with an uncredited role as a medic in the film Reid, Kelly Reid. His first credited role was in the 1942 film The Forest Rangers. In 1954, Brown joined the cast of the new ABC Western television series The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin, playing Lieutenant Ripley Masters. After the series ended in 1959, Brown guest-starred in television programs including Gunsmoke, The Alfred Hitchcock Hour, Lassie, The Virginian, Laramie, Route 66, Barbary Coast, Daniel Boone, Bronco, Honey West, and Murder, She Wrote. In the mid-1960s, Brown took a hiatus from acting to start a company making weight belts, eventually selling the company to Fabergé. He passed away from lung cancer at his home in Woodland Hills, California, on April 11, 1992, at the age of 72. Tom Fuccello. Tom Fuccello portrayed Dave Culver in 1979 at the age of 43. Initially a theater actor, Fuccello appeared in Broadway productions of Butterflies Are Free, The Unknown Soldier and His Wife, and Are You Now, or Have You Ever Been, in the 1970s. His first notable screen role was as Mark Elliott in the daytime soap opera Love is a Many-Splendored Thing, from 1972 until its cancellation in 1973. He later played Paul Kendall in the daytime soap opera One Life to Live from 1977 to 1979. His other appearances include Knots Landing, Simon and Simon, The Colbys, Falcon Crest, Beverly Hills, 9 to 10, and the television movie Sydney Shore, A Girl's Best Friend. He also appeared in Rock Hudson in 1990. His final role was in The Young and the Restless in 1992. Fuccello passed away on August 16, 1993, in Van Nuys, California, at the age of 56 from AIDS. Jared Martin. Jared Martin played Dusty Farlow in 1979 at the age of 38. Leaving his newspaper job, Martin joined a summer stock theater company in Cape May, New Jersey, then spent a season with Boston Classical Repertory and eventually rejoined PAP at his new public theater in Manhattan. In 1965, he co-founded Group 6 Productions, a New York film and stage production company, for which he directed his former roommate De Palma's first feature film, Murder a la Mode. In 1994, entrepreneur Jeffrey Sater asked Martin to direct In Deeper, a feature-length docudrama celebrating local crime-fighting citizens, as part of then-Mayor Ed Rendell's Heroes of the Streets campaign in Philadelphia. Martin co-founded the independent film production company Lost Dog Productions, which produces films for social service and cultural nonprofits, including Smarty Jones, a Pennsylvania champion. He also hosted Philly Live, an interview talk show series. From 2004 to 2007, he was a senior lecturer at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia, where he taught acting and directing. Martin passed away from pancreatic cancer on May 24, 2017, at his home in Philadelphia at the age of 75. Barry Jenner. Barry Jenner portrayed Dr. Jerry Kenderson in 1984 at the age of 43. Jenner served as a reserve officer for the Los Angeles Police Department for 21 years. He had early roles on 2 daytime programs, playing Tony Cooper on Somerset, 1974 to 76, and Evan Webster on Another World, 1976 to 77, where he was involved with Olive Gordon, Jennifer Leake, in a notorious plot to kill longtime character John Randolph, Michael M. Ryan. In 1981, Jenner appeared in several episodes of Knots Landing as Jeff Cunningham, the ex-husband of Abby Cunningham, Donna Mills. From 1996 to 1998, he co-starred in the short-lived sitcom Something So Right and lent his voice to the video game Star Trek Deep Space Nine: Dominion Wars. He was a popular figure on the convention circuit. In a 1999 episode of the animated series King of the Hill, Jenner was awarded a plot in the Texas State Cemetery for his appearances on Dallas. Jenner married Susan Harney on May 23, 1980, and later divorced. He married actress Suzanne Hunt on April 1, 2001. They appeared together in the film Popcorn in 1991 and were together for more than 25 years. Barry and Suzanne had 2 sons, Ashley and Christian. In films, Jenner played the role of Lieutenant James Bradley in the sci-fi spoof Popcorn, starring opposite his wife, Suzanne. He passed away on August 9, 2016, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles from acute myeloid leukemia at the age of 75. Dack Rambo. Dack Rambo played Jack Ewing in 1985 at the age of 44. After relocating to Los Angeles in the 1960s, he and his twin brother were discovered by actress Loretta Young in 1962 and cast in her CBS series The New Loretta Young Show. On February 5, 1967, Dack Rambo was tragically killed in a road accident at the age of 25. Later that year, Dack Rambo landed the role of Jeff Sonnet on The Guns of Will Sonnet and co-starred in the short-lived Gunsmoke spin-off Dirty Sally with Jeanette Nolan. In 1987, Rambo promoted a line of men's underwear branded as Underwear by Dack Rambo. He was diagnosed with HIV in August 1991 and quit the series shortly thereafter, retiring from acting. Rambo publicly revealed his HIV status and bisexuality, disclosing that he had been involved with both men and women since his 20s. He also struggled with addiction to alcohol and prescription drugs for several years. His time on Dallas was challenging, and his addiction worsened after he left the show. He entered the Betty Ford Center for Treatment in the summer of 1991 and achieved sobriety. Rambo denied ever being an intravenous drug user. He passed away on March 21, 1994, at the age of 52 from complications related to AIDS. Timothy Patrick Murphy. Timothy Patrick Murphy portrayed Mickey Trotter in 1982 at the age of 23. Murphy began his acting career as a teenager with several television commercials and went on to appear in the 1978 miniseries Centennial. Beyond his role in Dallas, he spent over a year playing a young con man on the CBS daytime soap opera Search for Tomorrow, and also had a regular role on the short-lived 1984 ABC primetime drama Glitter. He appeared in episodes of television shows such as Quincy M.E., Chips, Teachers Only, Hotel, The Love Boat, and Hunter. Murphy was featured in the 1981 film The Bushido Blade. One of his most notable roles was in the 1984 feature film Sam's Son, a biopic about the early life of actor Michael Landon, where he played Gene Orowitz, the young Landon. In 1984, he won the Young Artist Award for Best Young Actor Guest in a TV series for his work on The Love Boat. Murphy was gay and had a romantic relationship with actor Mark Patton during the 1980s. He died of AIDS on December 6, 1988, in Sherman Oaks, California, at the age of 29. Glenn Corbett. Glenn Corbett played Paul Morgan in 1983 at the age of 50. Corbett made his film debut in The Crimson Kimono, 1959, and went on to have supporting roles in The Mountain Road, Man on a String, both 1960, and All the Young Men, 1960. He took the lead role in William Castle's suspense thriller Homicidal, 1961, and was cast as one of the sons of Jimmy Stewart's character in the Civil War film Shenandoah, 1965. In 1963, Corbett replaced George Maharis on Route 66, portraying Lincoln Case and co-starring with Martin Milner during part of the third season and the entire fourth and final season, 1963 to 64. He also appeared as Lieutenant Tom Lockridge in 2 episodes of 12 O'Clock High. In 1971, Corbett guest-starred with Mariette Hartley on Gunsmoke, episode Phoenix, and appeared on television shows such as The Mod Squad, Cannon, The Streets of San Francisco, Policewoman, The Rockford Files, and Barnaby Jones. In January 1993, Corbett passed away from lung cancer at the Veterans Administration Hospital in San Antonio, Texas, at the age of 59. Dennis Patrick. Dennis Patrick portrayed Vaughn Leland in 1979 at the age of 61. He made 4 guest appearances on Perry Mason, 3 of which were as the murder victim. Martin Selkirk in the 1959 episode The Case of the Deadly Toy, Martin Summers in the 1962 episode The Case of the Tarnished Trademark, and golf pro Chick Farley in the 1966 episode The Case of the Golfer's Gambit. He also appeared as prosecutor Darrell Teschman in the 1960 episode The Case of the Prudent Prosecutor. Patrick played Sheriff George Patterson in the film House of Dark Shadows, 1970, and was television's first vampire as Dennis Harrison in a 1950 episode of Stage 13. On January 13, 2002, Patrick died in a fire that consumed his 4-story home in Hollywood Hills, California, where he was found alongside his pet poodle. He was 84 years old and had been suffering from cancer, required kidney dialysis, and rarely left the house. Donna Reed. Donna Reed played Miss Ellie Ewing in 1984 at the age of 63. After signing with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in 1941, Reid made her film debut in The Getaway opposite Robert Sterling, initially billed as Donna Adams. From 1958 to 1966, Reid starred in The Donna Reed Show, a television series produced by her then-husband, Tony Owen. She played Donna Stone, the wife of pediatrician Alex Stone, Carl Betts, and mother of Jeff, Paul Peterson, and Mary Stone, Shelley Fabares. Reid was drawn to the idea of starring in a comedy, a genre she was not very familiar with, and enjoyed playing a wife. After The Donna Reed Show ended in 1966, Reid took a break from acting to focus on raising her children and engaging in political activism. She returned to acting in the late 1970s, appearing in TV movies such as The Best Place to Be, 1979, and Deadly Lessons, 1983, as well as making guest appearances on The Love Boat. Reid passed away on January 14, 1986, at the age of 64, from pancreatic cancer in Beverly Hills, California. She had been diagnosed with the disease 3 months earlier and was informed it was in its terminal stage. Jeff Cooper. Jeff Cooper played Dr. Simon Elby in 1979 at the age of 43. In addition to his notable role as Dr. Elby, he was also recognized for various iconic roles. In Mexico, he was particularly well known for portraying the superhero Calimán in the internationally acclaimed film Calimán, El Hombre Increíble, Calimán, The Incredible Man, and its sequel, Calimán, En el Siniestro Mundo de Humanon, Calimán in the Sinister World of Humanon. Another significant role was his portrayal of Cord in the film Circle of Iron, written by Bruce Lee, where he starred alongside David Carradine and Christopher Lee. Cooper left Hollywood in 1995 and returned to his hometown of Hamilton, where he spent his time at the YMCA and enjoyed reading books from the public library. He passed away on March 24, 2018 in Hamilton at the age of 82. He was survived by his wife Colette, a well-known realtor in the area, Morgan Woodward. Morgan Woodward portrayed Punk Anderson in 1980 at the age of 55. One of Woodward's most prominent television roles was as deputy sidekick Shotgun Gibbs in 42 episodes of the ABC series The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, which aired from 1958 to 1961. He made numerous guest appearances on Wagon Train between 1958 and 1965 and appeared in several episodes of Gunsmoke, Rawhide, and Bonanza. Woodward guest-starred in 2 episodes of the original Star Trek series, each time playing a different character. In the first season episode, Dagger of the Mind, 1966, he portrayed Dr. Simon Van Gelder, a deputy director of a facility for the criminally insane. Later, in the second season, he appeared in The Omega Glory as Captain Ron Tracy. Woodward described the role of Dr. Simon Van Gelder as the most physically and emotionally demanding acting job of his career. Woodward passed away on February 22, 2019, at his home in Hollywood Hills, California. Don Starr. Don Starr played Jordan Lee in 1978 at the age of 61. He served as an officer and medical administrator in the U.S. Army from 1945 to 1948 and obtained an associate degree from the University of Texas in 1950. The following year, he began working as an assistant administrator at Scott and White Memorial Hospital in Temple, Texas. In 1956, Starr moved to Tucson to become the business manager of the Tucson Clinic, a role he held until his retirement in 1977. While living in Tucson, he volunteered in various capacities, including as president and board member of the Tucson Association for Child Care, a group he helped establish, the American College of Clinic Managers, and as president of the Tucson Rotary Club. Starr also made several notable film appearances, including roles as Judge Mark Brandler in The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, 1972, Speed Trap, 1977, and The Onion Field, 1979. He married Mary Alice Molly Harnish in 1942, and they divorced in 1977. They had two sons, Grant and Clay, and a daughter, Lori. In 1983, he married Beverly Kunst, and the couple returned to Tucson after the conclusion of Dallas. Starr passed away on July 11, 1995, at his home in Tucson, Arizona, from injuries sustained in a fall. Howard Keel. Howard Keel portrayed Clayton Farlow in 1981 at the age of 62. At 20, his landlady, Mom Ryder, overheard him singing and encouraged him to take vocal lessons. Keel admired the great baritone Lawrence Tibbett, and he later described discovering that his own voice was a basso cantante as one of his greatest disappointments. Nevertheless, his first public performance occurred in the summer of 1941 when he played Samuel the Prophet in Handel's oratorio Saul. Between 1971 and 1972, Keel briefly appeared in the West End and Broadway productions of the musical Ambassador, which was not successful. In 1974, he became a father for the fourth time with the birth of his daughter, Leslie Grace. In January 1986, he had double heart bypass surgery. His 1988 album, Just For You, reached number 51 on the UK albums chart. In 1994, Keel and Judy Magamol relocated to Palm Desert, California. Keel's marriage to Magamol ended in divorce in 1948. While performing in the London production of Oklahoma, he met Helen Anderson, a member of the show's chorus, and they married in January 1949, only to divorce in 1970. Keel then wed airline flight attendant Judy Magamol in December 1970. He passed away at his Palm Desert home on November 7, 2004, 6 weeks after being diagnosed with colon cancer. Kate Reid. Kate Reid portrayed Aunt Lil Trotter in 1982 at the age of 52. She was educated at Havergal College in Toronto, continued her studies at a university in London, and later trained in acting at a performance arts school in Canada. Reid enjoyed a long and diverse career across film, television, and stage in both Canada and the United States. Her stage credits include roles such as Lady Macbeth in Macbeth, Katharina in The Taming of the Shrew, Henny in Bosoms and Neglect, and Martha in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? In film, she played the manipulative mother of Natalie Wood's character in This Property is Condemned, 1966. Despite being just 7 years older than Wood. Her other film credits include The Andromeda Strain, 1971, A Delicate Balance, 1973, Equus, 1977, Death Ship and Atlantic City, both 1980. Reid's two marriages to Michael Sadlier and Austin Willis ended in divorce, and she had 2 children with Willis. She passed away from cancer in Stratford, Ontario, at the age of 62 in 1993. Larry Hagman. Larry Hagman played J.R. Ewing in 1978 at the age of 47. Hagman began his acting career in 1950, performing in productions at Margaret Webster's School at the Woodstock Playhouse in Woodstock, New York. During a summer break from his year at Bard College, he worked as a production assistant in Dallas and took on minor roles with Margot Jones's theater company. He performed in The Taming of the Shrew in New York City and participated in various tent show musicals with St. John Terrell's Music Circus in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Lambertville, New Jersey. Hagman later reprised his role as J.R. Ewing in TNT's continuation of Dallas, which started in 2012. While filming the new series in 2011, Hagman remarked, "Of course it's fun to play the villain. After Hagman's death in 2012, his character J.R. was written out of the show in the 2nd season. Unused footage of Hagman was incorporated into the 3rd season's story arc, which aired in 2014. In 1950, Hagman and his mother, Mary Martin, released a Columbia single titled Get Out Those Old Records, credited to Mary Martin and her son Larry, with orchestration by Mitch Miller. This single was released in Australia as a 78 RPM record, catalog number DO-3409. Hagman passed away on November 23, 2012, at Medical City Dallas Hospital due to complications from acute myeloid leukemia shortly after being interviewed for the National Geographic documentary The 80s, The Decade That Made Us, which aired in April 2013. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content about your favorite shows and celebrities. We'd love to hear from you, so drop a comment below with your favorite memory or performance from these incredible actors. Thank you for tuning in.